Starting on Acheron Wastes. I'm going to fix up the overlay in a second. Actually, we'll do it as we go. Starting down at the bottom right-hand side of this very handsome map. Vote in the chat if you like Acheron Wastes or not. It is Liquid TLO. And his opponent up at the top left-hand side, a subject of so much discussion as to how the hell I pronounce his name. It is IchoBicho. I'm gonna go with that, just so you guys know. So it is Zerg versus Zerg, something which, you know, is something I get to see quite a lot on the C server. Just given that, you know, we have a bajillion Zerg players down in the Australian region. We get to see how TLO wants to play this one out. It looks like we're going to go straight up to a lot of drones. Neither player wanting to get an early pull and risk an early attack or anything like that. Oh, did I not change the actual game count? Sorry. My bad. There you go. Fixed. Guys, it's 7:05 AM in the morning. And we've been casting for about 13 hours, so you gotta give me some leeway, alright? Just give me some leeway, guys. Anyway, pulls go down at almost the same sort of timing. TLO's is a little bit earlier than IchoBicho's. And as we can see, they're obviously wanting to take their expansions as well. So drones heading down there now. They're just going to throw down those hatcheries and get started with a standard sort of Zerg versus Zerg game here. Nothing too crazy coming out from either of them. Their overlords are going to pass by in a moment. Click on the speaker symbol. Alright, hang on. Let me do it.
IchoBicho.
IchoBicho. That's what I said, didn't I? That's what I said. Anyway, so they are going to scout each other out. Just the Overlord scouts for now, but they should be fine. I mean, there's nothing too crazy going on. It looks like we will get gas from IchoBicho, or whatever, IchoBicho. There you go. Lots of support for IchoBicho in the chat. Should be good to see how this one goes. Who post in the chat what you think is the scoreline going to be for this Zerg versus Zerg? It's, you know, despite TLO obviously being a little bit of a much more popular name, it could still be an interesting fight. It's a Zerg versus Zerg, so anything can happen. You can have all sorts of crazy things going on in this kind of matchup. 2-0. Wow, we have a lot of support there for Eco. And of course, a little bit for Liquid TLO as well. We'll see how he wants to maneuver. Of course, Zerg vs. Zerg has been a matchup that's changed a little bit. We've had, you know, with the Spore Crawler buff, it means that Mutalisks, now if they try and run into a Spore Crawler, they'll get punched in the face and they get taken out in like 3 or 4 hits. I think it's 3. And TLO are actually very diligent with scouting around with these with his queens to scout out for any overlords, and actually does a really good job. Finds one of the overlords from IchoBicho. It looks like he is going to be able to take it out, and that's actually kind of annoying. It's not necessarily a game-ending sort of situation there, but of course it does mean that IchoBicho is going to have to restart another overlord that he would not have normally had to do at that point. But the Bane Nest is now on the way. TLO has gotten up an Evo Chamber very quickly here. He's also got a Roach Warren on the way. Looks like he is going to spread some creep and looks... Is he going to prepare? Yeah, okay. So he's going for double Evo Chambers here. Wants to go for the double upgrades. And while he's doing that, he can prepare for what looks to be a possible Ling Bane timing coming out of IchoBicho. He's got lots of Lings that have just finished up, but then a couple of drones as well. Cancels the Evo Chamber. It looks like he did head up to the top of the ramp and saw that there was a very thick wall from TLO here. You guys are like all over the place right now. You're worse than me. But anyway, TLO gonna have to deal with some Lings at the front door. The Queen's getting a little bit low. One of them is about to die now, and actually TLO... he sort of, he transfused one of the queens that was actually very close to being alive, and IchoBicho is going to get inside. Lots of drones in trouble here at the natural base, but some roaches about to pop out. Looks like the lings inside the main are going to get some damage done as well. As you can see, TLO, wow, he actually maneuvered that roach so that it was inside the group of drones, and that was actually relatively well done by TLO there. But IchoBicho gets a 7, 8 worker kills, maybe 9. Gets 9 in total, not too badly done. And he's going to be, well, that's not too bad there for IchoBicho. He's now going to get his third base up and running very quickly here. The upgrades for TLO are on the way. Well, at least one upgrade is on the way. That's the +1 to the missile attacks. He's also getting +1 to carapace as well. So he's going to want to try and put some counter pressure on as quickly as he can, because he doesn't want his opponent establishing any defenses here or switching over into any sort of dangerous tech or anything like that. So TLO is going to come back across. It looks like we'll have a single spine crawler prepared for the defense here for IchoBicho, but I mean, drones coming out to defend, it's, well, that's kind of interesting to see that a lot of drones have come out there, and they're going to come about. TLO snipes down the queen, nicely done by him, gets rid of a just a single drone, so 2 in total. That's not really enough for TLO. He needs to get more done, so he's going to come back across to the third base. Drones being, well, they ran off the line to try and avoid damage, and then didn't actually run any further, so that was a little bit odd there for those drones. But TLO sending some more roaches across the map. It looks like IchoBicho has gotten a couple of his own roaches out, but they are lacking in upgrades compared to TLO. He's got his own +1 weapons already done, focusing down some of the roaches, nicely done, but he will be forced back for the moment here, as IchoBicho has his own roaches that are continually pouring out of his main base. So worker count is sitting at 54 for IchoBicho to the 49 of TLO, so a slight lead at the moment for the Norwegian player. And TLO is going to try and come back across. He now has the 0-1, but of course his +1 on the carapace is almost just about to kick in there. And once that is added in, that's going to be a really nice little addition for TLO at this stage. TLO, his micro, just trying to pull back one of the hurt roaches, but actually got the one that was full health, so that didn't really help him out too well. Going to split up some of the roaches now, send them down to the third base, while a couple of the others just sort of sit off to the side. I'm not exactly sure what the plan with that was, but TLO is able to target down some of these drones here. Nicely done. And he's going to fall back with the rest of his roaches. So it looks like TLO is just trying to get a little bit of economic damage done here. Even worker kill tally for the time being. And that means that, you know, TLO is still going to be... He's just sort of a little bit struggling after losing 3 early queens there. Or was it 2? No, it was 3. It was 3 early queens. But one thing he does have up his sleeve is upgrades. He's already got roach speed just about to finish. Plus a 2 on missile attacks is also on the way, so he's going to have some really nice upgrades here, while for IchoBicho, his upgrades are going to be just a tiny bit behind here. +1 for his weapons is now done. He's going to be waiting for +1 to carapace before he really pushes in, but TLO has now established his third base. We've got both players up to 3 bases, Sticky on the roach tech, who is sort of thinking about Wings of Liberty, Zerg versus Zerg here, because this is exactly what it looked like back in the day. But as we can see, upgrade for Burrow going to come along for IchoBicho, and he's going to get that up and running it. And that can really help out. If you've got some really nice micro, you can get the burrow running, and if you can burrow some of your roaches, take them out of the fight, regen their health, and you can really make sure that they are as effective as possible. Efficient and effective, of course, the way you want to try and use a lot of the Zerg units. Not necessarily always efficient in terms of Zerglings or something like that, but they can be very effective in the terms of these roaches, and also things like banelings as well. So TLO is going to make his way back across the map. The roach count is currently sitting at 40 to 35 in the favor of TLO, and it looks like he is going to start to push forward. He does have +2 on his weapons. This could be a very strong attack here for TLO, making his way, just barging his way straight through here, but 2 spine crawlers really going to help out, and it looks like, well, TLO being very careful, trying to micro back and forth, wants to stay away from the spine crawlers. I don't think he's really going to be able to push in here. The roach count now even, and there is a slight difference in the upgrades, but IchoBicho does have burrows, so if he can sort of add that in and really help out his the efficiency of those roaches, that is really going to help him here. But you know, we'll see, because TLO now morphing in an overseer so that he does have some detection. It is Norway versus Germany. It's quite funny. But as we can see, we've got the roaches now coming through. It looks as if the roach count of IchoBicho is far superior to his opponent. Now up to 40, but they are trading back and forth. TLO with his 2-1 is really going to attack in and do a lot more damage here. IchoBicho does get forced back for the moment, but you know, it looks as if he does have a little bit of a roach lead for the time being, so I think this is going to trade back and forth for the moment until one of these players decides to pick up that extra tech. And we can see that TLO has Hydras about to pop out now, so he's going to add in a lot more high DPS capacity there to his forces. So Hydra's now making their way out. The groove spines is being researched here, so he's going to be very groovy and very spiny very soon. And IchoBicho poking away at the destructible rocks himself, so both these players looking to take a 4th base, and once that sort of economy gets established, the 4-base economy Zerg gets really, it has a lot more potential behind it. So TLO is going to have his Hydras out, but IchoBicho has got his own 2-2 now, and we'll see how he's going to maneuver from there. It looks like he is also getting some Hydras out, so these players just playing really tit for tat at the moment, just sticking with each other, not necessarily deviating from their paths too much. But now TLO with some Hydras in the back there, going to be shooting over the shoulders of the roaches. Nicely done there. He is going to maneuver them back and forth. It looks like IchoBicho does have a bit of a roach lead right now, 29 to 20 of TLO, and IchoBicho is forced back, but only because of the Hydras there. He's just a little bit worried about the DPS of the Hydras, the reinforcements of TLO that are going to continually stream out of this natural base, and of course the 3rd. So IchoBicho cleverly is going to fall back for the moment. So IchoBicho trying to get some damage done, but unfortunately not able to push in too far. We can see that the Muscular Augments is now researching for TLO. He's got a couple more Hydras on the way, some Roaches also being added in. Both players now up to 4 bases. We can see that IchoBicho's hatchery is just about to finish up. He's going to add in gases 7 and 8. And, you know, that's the thing about playing some Zerg. If you get to gas 7 and 8 and have that mining away quite nicely, you put yourself in a really good spot in terms of the economy. Because once you get to the Infestors and the Hive Tech after that, that's when it really starts costing a lot of gas to actually get any of your units out. So it is good to see that Eco is making his way up to get a lot more gas here. I'm just sort of intrigued to see how he's going to sort of deal with this push that's coming in from TLO. TLO up to a maxed out supply, 34 roaches for him, 24 Hydras. And this is going to be quite a strong push coming in from TLO, but the big question is, will he be able to get good surface area? Because that is something that Hydras love to have. We can see IchoBicho microing some of his roaches around, just bulldogging his way through. He does have a very high roach count, but the problem is these Hydras do so much damage, just tearing apart the roaches from IchoBicho. I think he was a little bit overzealous there, pushed in just a tiny bit too far. TLO is now going to take a little bit of an advantage here. It's currently sitting at 21 Hydras to 24 roaches for TLO, while IchoBicho is sitting on just the 16 roaches and 11 Hydras. So his ground forces are in a little bit of disarray at the moment, and TLO is going to walk his way into the 4th base, gets rid of the destructible rocks, and now is going to face some roaches and Hydras coming in from the backside. So TLO needs to be very careful here. But IchoBicho is going to lose... Whoops, my camera going weird. Is going to lose his 4th base. The drones were able to burrow, which is always good and nice. And we are going to get a sandwich attack. Everyone loves a sandwich, especially when there is a nice chunk of Zerg meat in the middle. We can see the TLO is coming in from both sides. Roach is coming in from the back. And the Hydra Roach at the front. Just too much there for TLO. And he takes the 1-0 lead here in this best of